All right, here we go with Final Fantasy Ultra Championship Edition. We just beat up Garland and got the bridge to the northern continent opened up for us. We're going to head over to Pravoka and see what's waiting for us over there. I've got a party of the Paladin up front, the Viking in the second position there, a Cleric and a Sage. My Cleric is going to be my Protector. Sage is going to mostly be my black magic caster. The Sage has access to all the magic spells in the game, but has a little bit of drawback in terms of spell charges. So thinking already probably would have been better to replace that with a Warlock, which is a black magic caster with more charges. Ooh, I'm going up towards the Matoya's Cave area and not seeing Matoya's Cave actually popping up. That's interesting. So we've seen a couple of slight narrative changes to this series so far. A couple of slight differences in the way the story is told. And we'll see if my suspicions are correct here. Yeah, it looks like there is not a Matoya's Cave, at least in that part of the world. Now I'm curious about this gray wolf, so let's see. Let's see what happens with the gray wolf here. I'm curious to see if the amount of experience has been buffed on the tougher enemies like that, because I always thought the gray wolves did not give the kind of reward that their risk associated to the party. So I often did not fight them because they have a pretty good chunk of hit points for this point in the game, and it seemed like their gold, understandably, was always pretty low, because I think that this game, at least in the early part of the game, did a good job of differentiating between which kinds of enemies would be holding on to money and which ones would not. And animal-type enemies, of course, it doesn't make too much sense for animals to be carrying around large amounts of cash. But in RPGs, when your party relies on grinding for money and experience, and you want a variety of enemies, you do have to have make some concessions for things like dinosaurs running around the landscape carrying money with them. So later on in the game of the vanilla version, you do have to deal with things like you are fighting dinosaurs with cash, which is fine. But in the early part, when you have animal-type enemies, they're often not. All right, so this is a much changed map. Let's see if this is still the Provoca we remember. Looks like it, although it's surrounded by some water tiles, which is cool. All right, pirates keep raiding this town. No one will stand up to them. Here's the Mohawk guy. So the pirates have a hideout in this one. So this is similar to the last series I did, was a preview look at Final Fantasy Reconstructed, and that one also had the pirates living in a pirate cave or a pirate hideout, which is maybe a shout out to Final Fantasy V, where of course the pirate cave is one of the first places you visit. I'm just seeing if there's anyone else around town here. Still have the inn up at the top, but it looks like some of the shops have been moved around just a little bit. Let's see what we have for new weapons, see if we can upgrade a little bit. I do have some money, so we can jump up. Let's get a new axe for our Viking. That'll take up a pretty good chunk of it. Let's get a new hammer for our Cleric at the front, or our Paladin at the front. I'm going to be calling him the wrong name probably the rest of this game. Let's sell those other ones to see if we can get a spell or two. And there's not much I'm going to get from those very basic ones, but that will be a start. That will be a help. All right. Let's have him learn. Now, Ice is an all-targeting spell in this one, so just by wondering if, and conjecturing that, there might be a fight with multiple pirates, based on what I know about the vanilla game, I'll get an all-targeting spell. Because again, Ice 1 in this hack is an all-targeting AoE spell. Come on, thank you. Mohawk man. So if I'm going to be fighting a large group of pirates, here's a couple of creeps. Let's get out of here for now and see if I can take on the pirates at the level that I'm hanging out at. So it really requires a lot of different thinking. So they've mentioned that the Pirates' Cave is to the south. So I'm going to head south as much as I can here. We've got a little bit of a walk. Oh, an iguana. This should be a fun one. Now, I bet the iguana has some boosted hit points. But this will give us a chance to check out our new weapons. Okay, so a nice jump in damage, thankfully, from the starting equipment. So hopefully my cleric, once I get a little more money and can afford a hammer for my cleric down there in the 3rd position, we'll be able to put out some decent damage. The cleric, of course, mostly just has the defensive white spells. And my Viking is going to be my damage all-star here to start. 40 points and 30 gold. I think the iguanas give 50 and 50. All right, I'm guessing this is our pirate cave. I don't know if this is a dungeon or what. It certainly has the dungeon music and the dungeon bats. I don't know if there's going to be... Oh, this bat is really trolling me. There are random battles in the pirate's cave. Okay, all right. And with a big group here, I'm guessing that these eagles don't have any of the nasty attacks that the bird-type enemies have in the other game. Let's go ahead and try these guys, I guess. Might have to do some leveling up before I'm ready to actually handle this dungeon. Because I'm just shy on having enough gold to buy all the stuff I need to re-kit everybody with the new equipment that's available, especially the armor. I didn't check out the armor shop, and I didn't look at the white magic shop. Wanted just a little bit more for my physical fighters, but boy, the evasion of these birds seems to be pretty high. Yeah, and until my big fighters start to get multiple hits in another few levels, we're going to be falling victim to enemies that have that kind of evasion. But I do have a good amount of cure spell charges. Ooh, man, I do have a lot of white magic casters. But there I had all 4 miss. There's 1 miss. It seems like these eagles don't have a ton of hit points. There's 3 misses from the party. Yeah, it seems like they don't have a ton of hit points, but they have very, very high evasion. So every enemy has a new wrinkle in this game, which is very cool. It makes it very interesting. Because I don't know if very many enemies in the vanilla version of this game, I don't know if very many of them have that issue of very high evasion. You get some that have really high absorb, like the golems that you fight later on. Maybe some of the waters and airs and things like that have decent evasion. But here I'm just kind of spreading out my hits and hoping that I get something to land, anything to land. There we go. And there's a hit from the Viking. So that's kind of a long battle. Thankfully, the birds weren't doing a ton of damage. All right, 50 gold. All right, that gets me another level up. So I know that I'm close to a level up if I do not make it out of this dungeon. If I do not make it... oh, there's chests in here. So this has a very marsh cave look to it. Oak staff, I believe, is the step-up weapon that we had before. Let's see what... Zonk's, so damage of 6 right there, and Oak Staff boosts it to 8. Woohoo! Oh! So we have some rando battle pirates here. Interesting. I don't have any real good helper spells here. This might be a good time. I'm gonna try my ice spell here because I may go back to that inn at Provoca. I may commit to going back to that inn. Now that I've got some more money, I'll be able to buff up a little bit. So you can see the Kaizokus. Yeah, there we go. There's a little more damage to the Kaizoku. Oh, 2 damage, so we were just shy of killing it with that ice spell. All right, so there's a whole hunk of gold. So that'll get me a spell, that'll get me armor, that'll get me everything I need. So that will be a nice place to strengthen up a little bit. If we can do that. I'm going to head back to Pravoka, though. I'm guessing that, as is the case with a lot of Final Fantasy I ROM hacks, this is going to be a multiple attempt dungeon. I am doing this pretty blind and not really as a matter of a statement, but mostly just because the README available with this game is it lists what your new spells do. It gives you enough guidance. Definitely gives you enough guidance, but it's not a comprehensive document like an algorithms guide would be. So that's not a criticism that this doesn't come with a comprehensive README. It's just that the player has to explore and discover. And I have not looked at the walkthrough series of videos that the author did. I have not done that. Okay, so shield ups your defense. Heal, purge is like a cure spell, and slow reduces enemies to 1 hit. So a few interesting spells. Not much of incredible value to start. Let's see if we can get T-Hawk to learn the shield spell. All right, we can. And were there any other? So arrow is a single targeting black spell. Arrow is a single targeting black spell that does more damage than the level 1 spells. Let's see what the armor shop does have. So we do have some new stuff over here. Unfortunately, I can't afford much of it. I can't afford much of it. Would it be a better shot to... How much was that hammer? I might upgrade the hammer of my cleric. Yes, let's upgrade the hammer of my cleric. And I'll take the 10 gold because in this game, gold is a precious, precious resource. Really, really precious. Things are expensive. Spells are cheaper, but weapons, armor, and just enemy drops of gold have been rebalanced a little bit. Well, that's my controller that does that sometimes, and it's always unfortunate when it does that next to a screen transition like a town. Always unfortunate when that happens. All right. Let's do this one just to pick up some extra... just to get some extra golden experience, because I'm going to need it almost all the time here. It should take out all the zombies. Because I have plenty of level 1 charges. Oh, and my Viking looks like does have enough for 2 hits. That's good. We have 1 hit stun there. Or 1... there we go. 1 stun with the status attack stun. Should say, not hit stun. Yeah, so that's big. That's big. That's a new spell. That's a new spell. Or a new piece of equipment. It's a new something. Alright, not quite enough for the big bronze armor. But do I have scale mail? Yeah, I could get the scale for my Viking, which I think I'll do. I think that this one is always going to be your scale. I do like that the armor system seems to have been simplified, where you have the cloth, scale, plate, shield. Cloth, scale, plate, shield. So you kind of know who can equip what all the time. Because like my Viking is good on the scale. Yep, and I can sell the scale mail back. That'll get me an into save. Well, not much. Not much. 54 gold. Sitting on a hot 54 gold. All right, let's go back to that pirate cave and see what we can do. Let's save that in trip and see what we can do with the pirate's cave. This would normally be a really lucrative battle to fight, but just for time in this video, I'm going to head over to the cave. Hopefully we can pick up the ship and then off camera, off recording, I'll pick up a few new things. I'll fill out my spell list, fill up my armor slots there. I can tell the pacing of this game is going to be a little more deliberate. We're going to have to go a little bit more deliberately with this game. So let's see if we can crawl the rest of this pirate cave. This would be another real nice battle for cash. But I'll see if we can get to wherever Bicky's hanging out. Take on whatever's waiting for us. I'm hoping that this battle is indeed escapable. Something that I thought was a major improvement, and looks like 2 rounds of not escaping. So I guess I have to make the assumption that this one's not going to be escapable for us, unfortunately. But at least my Viking can do really nice physical damage. Seeing that I have a pretty defensive party here in general, so I'm going to have to get used to sandbagging with my white mage type characters. So I'm hoping that I get some access to some of the more fun and more useful white spells that will help me defend up against some of the longer boss fights. All right, and there's the end of this one. So hopefully I go back to Pravoka. 250. That's another nice. That's another spell or some more equipment I can use. Yeah, this is very marsh cavey. Very marsh cavey. And that looks like this is a protected battle, although not with a particularly nasty group of enemies. So that makes me reconsider if this is a protected square or if it's just a regularly scheduled fight. Although not being able to escape from a group of gray imps and a gray wolf in one round is not very hopeful. So there's a bronze axe. So unfortunately, I already had purchased one of those. So maybe I should have gotten a hint from that first treasure room that coughed up the oak staff that maybe I would be getting a full set of step-up equipment here in this cave, but I didn't get that hint, if indeed a hint it was. And again, because I don't have a rogue in my party to hang out, I don't get the boost to escaping. I'm wondering if these characters just have low luck stats. I'm assuming that the escape check has been fixed for this hack. All right, bronze. I think that can be a step up. Yes, that can be a step up down here. So that's good. What is they have now? Absorb of 9 right now. I didn't check to see how much that gave us before. Absorb of 13. Okay, so that's a pretty nice jump, and that's per hit. So that'll take out an extra 4 damage per hit that is delivered to that character. And I think that was the one right by the door. I'm going to try to get away from these eagles this time. I'm going to see if I can give it another round, another try to get out, because this battle took a long time. There we go. So that battle was indeed escapable. I just didn't get out in the first round before. All right, are we going to have... ooh, the stairs going down. The dungeon continues. So this is a legit dungeon, not just like a little pirate cave with some merry music playing. This is a legit dungeon, straight up. Oh, okay. So, more Kaizokus. So this is more cash I can take with me, and looks like they're not doing a whole lot of damage. Thankfully, they're mostly targeting my front characters, so that's nice. It's good to have that tank up there in the front. Nope, I want you down there. Because my Viking looks like to be able to take out a lot of enemies in just one hit now, which is good. He's my my all-star. All right, so that I've got to remember, because the targeting system in this game, if you're not familiar, those hits don't transfer over. So if you target an enemy that ends up dying before the round is over, then your character's attack will be wasted. There we go. So you see there was an ineffective hit there. All right, Viking up there. Go there. And let's see if this round we can take them all out. All right, and if I get a few hits to land from those other characters, we should be good. There it is. So I'm going to use some of those cure spells here. 400, that's nice. That's another nice piece of armor, or something good for me. All right. Thankfully, almost everyone can cast cure spells, so we're set there. I might just leave those until a later date. Ooh. Table and a chair. That was a nice gift there. So a few rooms on this floor. And I guess I'll keep fighting the Kaizokus because they're pretty nice fights to execute. As long as they're not targeting my sage down there. They're doing some scary amounts of damage to my sage. You target him. Let's see if we can get one of these out of here this round. I'm not sure if enemy turn order has been changed at all in this hack. I know that there, as of this recording, there is some talk about an ATB system being worked into this game. It's kind of in development and being tested right now. That would actually use, as I understand it, would use some semblance or some combination of your agility stat to determine action order in each round of battle. And you gotta remember where you're going with all of these. Another bronze hammer. I think I'm already updated all the way on my hammers. Okay, so there's a tunnel going off to the right, but I'll check this other treasure room if I can get over there before I take the tunnel off to the right. And I'm going to save my all-targeting ice spell, hopefully for whatever is waiting for us at the end of this dungeon. It would be nice to use it here in this battle. But I'm metagaming a little bit, which is, I don't know if that's part of the rules or not, to metagame and use your knowledge of the vanilla version of this game when playing a ROM hack, but I tend to do it anyway. Sometimes it pays off, sometimes it does not. But I'm assuming that there's going to be some large group of enemies to deal with at the end of this one. I'm going to space my attacks out, see if I can get rid of the Kaizokus, and then maybe my Viking can take out a pirate in one hit. That's what I'm hoping for. And I don't know if all of the dungeons will have been boosted like this. Shoot, my cleric was not able to get the job done there. Let's see if 3 of them together can take out that last Kaizoku while my Viking gets another pirate. Looks like they could not. let's try it again. There we go. I don't have a good sense for how many hit points a lot of these enemies have. I feel like I have a pretty good sense of it in the vanilla version, but I'm not getting a good feel for how to distribute my attacks, and I feel like it's something you just have to play the first game a lot to get a good idea of about how many hit points each kind of enemy has and about how much damage your characters are going to be dealing in any given round of battle. So it's really a feel thing. You see a slight visual hiccup there with some of the letters, but you have that whenever you make a change to the strings of letters. So I don't see that as a flaw. A brown sword. I don't know if I have any sword swingers. I don't think anybody really swings swords. I don't think the Viking can even swing a sword. Nope. All right. Well, that'll be cell bait when I get back. Ooh, shadows. I might just throw a holy spell at these guys if I can't get out of here. Ooh, darkness. I don't know if darkness has been fixed and actually works in this game or not. Okay, there we go. We did get out of that one, but boy, they did some big damage to us. Holy cow, they really hit hard there. All right, a couple of cure spells. I'm just hoping I have enough healing to get down to those pirates. And I've got a good chunk of money. I could go back and get some better armor for all of my characters now. After fighting so many of those pirate battles, I'm sitting on over 1,000 gold now. But I think I'm just gonna try it. I'm gonna go for pirates. Oh man, another big group, and again, I don't know if these guys are actually escapable or not. I might try to get out of this one because I can't fight too many more of these battles, and without knowing whether they're inescapable or just I've been getting unlucky when I've been trying, and you can't do too many rounds of trying to run away. Okay, so there is one. I did get out. So, all right, now I know that we can escape those fights. I think one of the biggest beneficial changes I've seen in any hack was in Final Fantasy ZZ by Zonk Miles, who for whom my sage is named. It gave you a text prompt at the beginning of any battle that was inescapable. Now, that hack had lots of battles that were inescapable, and that's something that it has seen some criticism for having lots of inescapable battles meant to just really drain your resources as you're working through the dungeons, and it really makes the dungeons quite long. All right, so here we have a pirate in front of a table. Let's heal up as best we can and see what's waiting for us on the other end of this conversation. And we might as well go ahead and just get to as close to full strength as we can. He does have, okay, so he's got 4 fire spells, 2 ice spells, and we've got a little bit of defense here from our cleric. So let's see what we can do with Bicky. All right, mates, get those landlubbers. All right, bet me own ship. That might be a change in the text, but he definitely says, mates, get those landlubbers. So there is a suggestion that we do have a large group, and indeed here it is, raiders and pirates. So let's direct our damage at that raider. Shield, okay, shield is all protecting, which is nice. That would go along well with, and we'll go with ice here to see if that can take out some of the pirates in the first round. Shield would go well with Invis. I'm glad that it goes to all characters so I can boost our protection. That's exactly what I was hoping for. Nice damage all around from the ice spell. I'm sure I'm glad I saved those. And now we can just focus our attention on that raider. That may be, I guess maybe that's Bicky himself. I don't know. If that's Bicky himself. Fire spell should do a pretty nice chunk of damage. Yeah, 144. that fire spell is gonna. I can see that fire spell is gonna be seeing some good use well into this game from the Sage, especially at level 1 and getting as many charges as it does. I'm just gonna go all out. Let's keep going on the fire charges. I don't know how much that Raider's hit points have been boosted, but definitely this is a tough battle. Let's see if and another 100, and the Viking takes him out. So that's going to do it for this one. 190 experience, and we got to level 5. So we'll see what our spell charges look like. And that was a good stat up for T-Hawk. Strength, agility, intelligence up. And let's see if Bickett gives up his ship. And that definitely has not changed. Okay, you got me, take my ship. And I think he says something like, I won't be any more bother. I promise. Yep, I remember that. There we go. And we have a convenient set of steps going up. Oh, it takes us just to this room. Okay, interesting. It doesn't actually take us to the exit, so we do have to walk out of this dungeon. And actually, we have to walk out pretty weak. We have to walk out fairly weak. Oh, and we have to walk out the long way. So that would have tipped me off. If we have a chance to strike first, that would have tipped me off that we can indeed get away from that fight, because at least in the vanilla version, unless it's been changed for this patch, any fight that you can get a back attack or a preemptive attack for yourself can be escaped. There are no inescapable battles that have a trigger like that. I'm glad the Dark Imps are escapable. As much as I'm curious as to what they can do, I need to get out of this dungeon and finish up on part 2. And there's our ship waiting for us right there. So there's part 2 of Final Fantasy Ultra Championship Edition. If you like this one, please give me that thumbs up. It helps other people find these video series, and you can check out any of the other video series that I've done for Final Fantasy 1, 5, and other games on this channel. If you care to, leave a comment. I would love to hear your feedback about what you think about this game, what you think about the videos that I put together. If you want to say hi to me on Twitter, you can find me there at active_ATE. And we will see you next time. Hopefully we'll be exploring whatever has become of Elfland, etc. in this version. Thank you very much, and we'll see you later.